Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm keeping the pseudo fireside chat theme going here with some more way backage. I want to talk about another Old North song that was never recorded that is going to be our Insider's release this month. As I mentioned in a recent video, there are some anniversaries around this time of year of different events from North history. This one goes back 5 years to 2010. Right around the time that I had left Michigan and North was kind of wrapped up and it wasn't really clear where music was going. But there were a couple of recently written songs that had never been performed, never really been recorded. This song is a song called Mango. And Mango is this, as you're going to hear, a very humorous, kind of sarcastic folk song. That's certainly less serious than a lot of North's other material was. Mango was written right around the time that we were working on Drowning in Sky, but was never really a contender to be on the record. It was just kind of too new and we were well into production on the songs that we wanted to put on the album by then. Originally, however, I was going to perform Mango during the short solo section of the Drowning in Sky release concert, which took place in September of 2008. However, when we got into the venue and we, were taking time to sound check, and we had all these guest musicians and a huge production went into the show, and we actually fell behind schedule and we had to trim back some of the material. So I ended up dropping Mango from the set, so it never got performed at the show. After that, there weren't really a lot of North gigs, once the record had come out. Things were, changing for me per my introduction video way back at the beginning, and music kind of fell out of focus. But in 2010, a couple of good friends of mine asked me to perform at their album release, which was something that was happening back in Michigan in early November. So I actually went back there for the show and did a short solo set just as one of their opening acts. And I did get to perform Mango at that show. Fortunately, right around sometime in the preceding year, I would say, one of the engineers who worked on Drowning in Sky was teaching a class at the local community college in audio recording. And one of the things that he liked to do was bring musicians into the little studio that they had at the college to show the students what production was like and going through that effort. At some point, he asked me to come in and pick a song to kind of play through, just quick and dirty for this recording class. And I decided to put down Mango because I didn't really have any recordings of it at the time, so I just figured this was as good an opportunity as any to get sort of a rough together of the song. So this little recording of this song, at least kind of captures the content of it. It's obviously not as much fun as when you play the song live and you have a little more audience interaction with the humorous side of it. You're also going to hear very studio rough things like, I think at one point in the song I asked the engineer to adjust the mix. And much like the other Insider's release that we had recently, the guitar is a little loud relative to the vocal. It's not really the kind of mix that you would want for like a final mastered version of the song. But I think it is, again, in the spirit of keeping these Insider's releases sort of rough and dirty and just letting you know what music is out there and trying to chip away at that list of songs, get everything documented. It's as good as recording as any. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a song that I hope I get to produce, a little bit more seriously sometime down the road. But for now, this is a rough of Mango for this month's Insider's release. All right, for a music link this week, I want to share with you a band that I heard many years ago in Ann Arbor, where I went to school and then lived for many years afterwards. There's a radio station run by the University of Michigan called WCBN. They are by far my favorite radio station of all time because they would just play everything. They would find the most obscure, the most crazy, the most diverse stuff, music from all over the world. And, they had shows that were dedicated to certain genres sometimes, but I always loved most when they would have someone in, which much of the time, especially kind of around the clock. They'd have these big long shows where they do what they call freeform, and the DJs would just basically play anything they could find. And I have found many bands through this radio station that I came to love, where I would literally be driving around town and I'd hear something on the radio and I'd call up the station and say, please tell me what that was. And in a couple of cases, it was something that I loved so much that I went home and immediately found that band on the internet and bought something. Not that I could afford to do that a lot, but I did do it sometimes. One of these groups that happened to me with is a Japanese group called Polysics. These, I almost don't know how to describe this music. It's rock driven. The main leader of the project, a guy whose name is Hiro, he's an electric guitar player and lead vocalist, and he is just unbelievable amounts of energy. It's just this hyperactive kind of rock bass that he puts down with this electric guitar. But the rest of the music is driven a lot with synthesizers and crazy kind of electronic sounds, and it's sort of like hard rock meets Devo meets like Japanese anime music. It's fantastic. It's definitely a lot of energy. So the record that I bought at the time was one of the few that I could get available in the United States. This is a picture disc of an album by Polysics called Hey Bob, My Friend, and it's got 12 tracks on it, including the one that I first heard on the radio called Married to a Frenchman, which, it's all in Japanese, so I have no idea what the song's about. But the way they start the song off with these electronic sounds and then build it up, and the guitars come in. And the best thing about Polysics songs is that almost all of them have what I call an explosion. There's always a moment in the song where, even though it starts out hyperactive and crazy, there's always a moment where like they just cut loose and take it up yet another level. In so many of their songs they do that, and it's just fantastic stuff. Obviously, you can see there's sort of some Devo influence there. I mean, they're definitely playing around with costumes and radiation suits and crazy glasses and all kinds of fun stuff. So I wanted to share this band with you. The link I'd like to send you to is actually from a live show that they did in, it was a world tour. The show is from, I think, Tokyo. I think it might have been the end of the tour, the beginning of the tour. It's a track called Moog is Love. It's actually from much later than when this record came out. You'll see the band on stage has four members, Hiro and Keo, who are two of the members here. Hiro being the frontline man, Keo being one of the defining aspects of the band. She does these very robotic kind of like keyboard parts and vocoder parts and all this fun stuff. And then they're joined in this video you're going to see by a bass player and a drummer who were not with the band at when this record was made. But it still captures just the sheer amount of energy and the flavor of their music so well. So this is not an official video. I think this might have been put online by a fan, so I'm hoping it stays up for a while. But Moog is Love by the Polysics from their World Tour or Die, I think sometime in the early 2000s, if I recall. So hope you enjoy this. Definitely a band that has influenced me by reminding me how much energy and just how much fun you can put into your music and just blow people away. So I've really enjoyed their music over the years.